I'm ready when you are.
Hi everyone, it's Michelle Lightworker here, and welcome to Enlightened Conversations live stream. Today it has been a really interesting day of I'm just very I've got lots of giggles inside me because you know when you go to do things about 3 or 4 times that just don't work, but it just makes you laugh more and more and more as you do. Well, that's kind of been today for me. I think that I'll just introduce our wonderful Destiny Fae, Pleiadian. How are you, my love?
I'm wonderful, thank you. How are you? I'm feeling really honoured to be here today.
Oh, I am too. And I mean, I am a bit on the laughy side because sometimes when we're progressing through the technology aspects of all the learning that we're learning with regards to the production side of things, it can be a bit of hilarious sometimes. You're like, oh yes, and I've got to do this, and then you do that before that, and anyway, it's just funny. But welcome, sweetheart. I'm sorry for the delay today, but some things are exactly where they need to be, and that's how it feels today, supporting people that I love that needed my support. So thank you for being so accommodating and having the live stream a half hour after we planned it. I do like to be on time, but I think being on time also means that you're on top of things that you're meant to be on time for as well that come into your path. So,
Indeed.
So thank you. So I guess where I'm at the moment with regards to our connection is I'm a bit gobsmacked with regards to how much we've connected in a very short period of time with regards to what I would say our missions that are here on the planet, and I feel like it would be nice to kind of break that down a little bit more for people to understand how that all came about, because I'm a big believer that when you set your heart on a true course of action for humanity, you bring those people into your sphere that resonate on that frequency. And I think that that's very much what's happened with regards to both you and I at this particular juncture in time. Destiny, what do you feel about that for yourself?
I feel true, and it was something that I was requesting. So I feel like I was just the spirit was just waiting for me to be able to ask, to receive, and meeting you and connecting with you has been one of those people that I really feel like when I was talking to the stars and I was asking to bring more people into my life who were energetically aligned to what I was doing and to do, then you popped up. And I feel like it's kind of like opened up all these other streams of connections to people and all these other ideas as well. So I feel really grateful and blessed that both you've come into my life and spirit has answered my prayers.
Thank you, sweetheart. I feel the same. I feel like, when we have those, it's very hard to put this into words, so I'll try my very best. But when we have, we're stepping into the heart space energy of unity consciousness, we're really looking at the bigger picture of mankind on an energetic level. We want to collaborate with people on that level. We want to work with people on that level. We want to, so we put that intention out to the world. But in the meantime, we get on with it. We're just getting on with the job of doing that ourselves, which for me, it was Enlightened Conversations in a big way, and just like turning up and doing 18 interviews, Enlightened Conversations in 3 weeks, that kind of thing, just getting up and doing it, or for yourself, like planning the New Earth, New You Now Summit and 3 weeks, like just doing the do and putting all that energy into action, and then really trusting who our paths to support us to do that in whatever capacity they can support us to do that is their niche or is their little area of expertise that go, oh, I can help you with that, or hey, how about we do this, or I can add that to you, or let me take what you're doing over there and put it over here. And I have found that with regards to you helping, with regards to a number of other people, Inspired Living Events helping us, SOC Radio, Inspired Living Events, already said them, Leanne Barefoot Medium, she's been amazing. What Light Publishing, we've had a whole heap of people come on board to help us with Lightworker Reflections. Werner's in digital artists, we've had just people, Life 2 Project, we've had everybody say, yeah, we believe what you're doing. Let's support you because we dig you, we dig what you're doing, and we want to have our name associated with you. And I really love that. I really love that. I think that is so strength in numbers, isn't it?
Indeed, and it's just going to show that we're vibing and rising to the level where collaboration and bringing all those puzzles to see the greater picture is like ripe. It's like the perfect time. So all of those ideas that people thought would be challenging or be impossible to achieve are now possible, because as little puzzle pieces, we're finally ready to come together and connect and have all of the little parts of our puzzle ready to be all parts of somebody else's puzzle and have like this beautiful picture.
Yeah, exactly. There's a little bit of background noise. Is there someone talking in the background? Do you know?
So do you guys mind? It's actually live streaming at the moment on Facebook. Do you mind talking a little bit quieter?
Unless you want it live streamed. No, that's all right. I was just aware of it.
I spoke to everybody else earlier about doing this, and there's some other people who were here that didn't realize I was going to be doing this. So they're having a conversation.
Understandable. And you're all the way over in Hawaii as well, and sharing with people. So, and it's an interesting concept. Like, we're talking about sharing space, and we're talking about sharing visions, and it is about accommodating other people. Like, like even me today with my delays and things like that, it is about coming from the heart space and everybody matters. Even if they're in the background, they still matter. They're still important.
It's still important that they get heard.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
I'm totally taking over the communal space right now. So I didn't there was like nobody around earlier. So I was like, it'll be cool. And then all of a sudden people had come home. I do feel bad that I'm like taking up the communal space. Usually they're like jamming away and there's like musical instruments around.
Oh, that's so, I know. It's a fact of life, and we can be all like hard ass and rigid and dogmatic about it, but the reality is that I'm really appreciative, and I feel a lot of generosity is coming from the people around us. When we have these big missions that we're fulfilling, and you know how it is, right? It's like, yeah, you're on Spirit's timeline. You're on Spirit time, and it's sometimes hard for people to continue to accommodate that and support that. That's
okay. They decided that they were going to go to the outside like jam area, because it's
nice.
At the moment it's not raining here and it's nice and sunny. So maybe it was actually urging them to get outside and jam out there.
Yes, I love it. Hey, I am pretty excited about the New Earth New Year Summit that's coming up on the weekend. Do you want to give people a little bit of a snapshot as to where it's up to? You feeling called to do that? That would be lovely.
Yeah, so if where it's at the moment is we have some really amazing speakers on, and things all the way from communities, eco-villages to new level aspects of the mind, aspects about the body, healing, a lot of stuff that's really like transitionary from third dimension. One of the lead speakers on the Day of Spirit, which is day 3, and that's Sunday on this side of the world where Hawaii is, and it's going to be Monday that way near Australia. He's actually a connected channel to the Galactic Federation, so he communicates with the Galactic Federation, and he's going to be talking to us about spirit and about different experiences that he's had for an hour, and sharing some details with us about next level, fifth dimensional ascension, and the support that we're going to be receiving moving forward in this year as well. Right before him on the same day, an interview that's going to be with an amazing medium called Leanne, the barefoot medium, and she's actually going to be channeling through, at this stage she feels that it will be Abraham. She channels through a few different beings, and sometimes they're beings that a lot of other people as well. And she's be answering questions, both from what we've requested and also questions at the end from the viewers. So if you're keen to get some answers from Abraham Hicks or potentially maybe an Ascended Master, she's going to be channeling through some of those level beings that are ready to come through on this summit and are really feeling called to share with everybody who's present. There is going to be yourself, which I'm really excited about. You'll be talking about Earth and Spirit. And there's, phenomenal people as Kelly Kingston from Inspire. She's going to be talking about money and different ways to be able to take your money to the next level. So a lot of things about creating a more sustainable, more peaceful heaven on Earth right now, everything that's currently happening to do that. And then also we'll be sharing current projects and so future collaborations in events, in gatherings, in festivals, in other online summits. So there's going to be some other online summits that will be coming up. There'll be the Divine Masculine and Feminine Rising next month. There's also going to be some affiliate summits that we're going to be teaming with. And at this stage, I feel like over the next 3 to 4 months, we'll also be hosting some summits around synchronicities and manifestation. So key focus on those. And then I feel there's going to be another summit, which is going to be like a galactic connection summit. That's primarily people who are like Starseeds and people who are channels of the Galactic Federation, really been able to be that hub for people to hear all day for several days online what is happening energetically, galactically, and how we're involved and how we can get involved on a much greater level.
Yeah, that sounds amazing, all of that. And Destiny, one thing that I've realised, and I think what's coming through right now to share with you and maybe people that are actually listening to this, maybe they've got their own ideas for summits and things as well, or shows or whatever. My feeling is that Spirit gives us the piece of the puzzle, like you were talking about before, that, yes, we're part of that for everyone else. But in terms of our own missions and our own life purpose, I feel like we get a piece of the puzzle delivered to us in what I call an assignment form or a project form. And for me, once we actually step up and we do that project, whether it's being the host of a summit or an attendee of a summit or organizer of a summit, whatever it is, and then we move through that process. So for you, for instance, it would be this weekend. Then on the other side of that, there's so much expansion and there's so much information that comes through during that summit, even though you might know the guests and, you know, their mission and blah, blah, blah. When they're actually in the middle of the summit and they're doing their thing and information comes through, I believe it provides the next little piece of the jigsaw for us. Mm-hmm. And so then we take that piece and we go, oh, okay. And then the next thing, the next spiritual assignment, which I think for you is the Divine Feminine and Masculine Summit coming up in April. But I also feel like it is as well. I'm just going to share what's coming through, if you don't mind. But it just feels, so it just feels to me like it's an extended view on the vision of what's happening moving forward, because I understand that this took 3 weeks from your conception to it being a reality, this particular summit. So Spirit gave you I believe a spiritual initiation. It's not actually unsimilar to what happened for me when Spirit gave me the initiation to record 18 shows in 3 weeks, which I thought I had 4 months to record 18 shows, like 1 a week, okay? And then Spirit said, no, call all your people and schedule them for the next 3 weeks. Now, it all makes sense now because moving into what I'm moving into now, I had to have all those recordings done and at the back of me and another 40 under my belt to move into season 2. So I get it now, but it also meant that at the end of all that, moving through that process of every single connection that I had, every single enlightened conversation I had in that time, it was incredible for my expansion. So I feel like the message coming through for you and also everyone else listening is, don't overthink the next steps if there's not clarity insofar as the long-term vision or the long-term plan. Because sometimes you need to actually step through just that weekend, or just, for me, it was just those 3 weeks or what have you, to get to the next entry point for that incredible download of information. Do you feel any resonance with what I'm saying, sweetheart? Because it's pretty strong.
I feel that, that the focus is best to do, focus energies on what you're wanting in the shorter term, definitely, because that will then also maximize able to co-create in that particular period of time, rather than spreading out your energies sparsely into different areas. And I guess knowing some of what's happening in the distant future to great future is always good, but I feel like there is a lot of that we're unaware of that we don't necessarily know yet, that could be a major key to bringing whatever it is we're doing to another level. And sometimes when we get closer to that point in time is when we will get those details.
Exactly. And hi, Rosa. I just want to say hi, sweetheart. Rosa Carafa, one of our hosts, is tuned in. She said, being open to allow this process of sharing messages through spirit is what guides you towards others in receiving. It's true.
Very true.
It does. Yeah, I really think that, because if we're already in our head and we know what everything, blah, 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 it's almost like, there's that sort of like energy of telling people rather than, well, this is what's coming through. And then everybody's in that space of going, oh, okay, what's coming through? Yeah, what is it? And they're all open as well. I think it's a really different energy, isn't it?
Yeah. And then sometimes when things come through, something that I feel is it's not always something that's necessarily now. It's kind of like something that will lead you to something for something else that's more soon. So, for example, I have another project that temporarily got put to the side, or a few actually that temporarily got put to the side. One's the Inspire Unity movement, and that's something that I am working on parts of, which is the documentary. But then all of a sudden, it's like I was guided to focus on other things, and then this summit idea came through that I downloaded. And for me, I feel like it was like this had to get my most attention because it was the glue. It's like the glue that ties all of my other projects together, as well, helping to tie other people's projects together as well, to be able to give that space and that platform for these things to be shared, and also these projects to get further support from a greater capacity of people.
I agree with you. When I turned up for the meeting for the summit speakers yesterday morning, that I didn't even know if I was going to be able to do, because I literally was working till very late, which I don't usually do. And then I thought, well, if Spirit wants me to be at the meeting at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'll be at the meeting. So Spirit sending me dreams I'm on the call in my dreams.
Oh, wow. That's so... even sleep, so maybe it was me sending you messages.
Wake up. So it's like on the call, like with my bed hair, and who cares? I don't care. Oh, thank you so much. I felt like I really got the strong message coming through on that call, that this particular summit, this New Earth New Year summit, and the people that are involved and the people that it attracts are about working together moving forward. And so I'm inviting anyone, like if you feel called to work with Destiny or myself or any of the people that are on the summit, because I actually feel we'll all be working together, to get involved and listen to us and stay connected, because we want to work with people such as, you know, who vibrate on those frequencies. We want that. So I don't look at it like just another summit is the message I'm getting, because I definitely got that message loud and clear, Destiny. I think it was you, and you said the magic words, I think, were something like, I think this summit's come together so that we can work together and collaborate in the future, something along those lines. I was like, that's when I woke up. In the meeting, that's when I woke up, because I was like, ding, 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 ding. That's exactly why this has happened. and in such a short
like
period
a
of
magnet.
time.
It's like a magnet to get people on board to collaborate now, because I feel like that's the message, not only myself and also Doran from the Source Network, who's going to be partnering with New Earth, New You Now Foundation, but even Dakota from the ASC, who was a co-creator, he's now actually partnering. So his business, ASC, will actually be partnering, and it'll just be the three of us, and also extended to other partnerships and co-creators. It will actually be like this hub where we both focus on a particular area of collective, like it's media, or it's governance and finances for the New Earth, or it's like community for the New Earth, or festivals, or one component that we each hold, but we all share our resources and the people that we recommend to each other. So we're creating this massive foundation, which is like a solid foundation upon solid foundation of sharing and these streams of up-leveling. And there is so much potential in it. Like there's people who I want to connect, like you two, and people I want to connect Kelly from Inspired Living Events, to help take what she's doing from Australia to overseas. And I've met several people and several organizations that will immediately take that on board as well, because they have that same blueprint. And that's what I feel this summit can create, like what you were saying, where we all come together and work together, share each other's projects, help to share the people that are necessary. And my goal from both this summit and the other aspects of the foundation is that there will be an ongoing way for people to online get the information of the projects and how to be involved. 2, offline, be able to come together in events where they can either be involved or they can hear presenters, similar to on the summit, but in a physical way, where people who come along, if are a presenter, can share what resources they have and also what resources they need, and then can come together in a collaborative day the following day and use a particular process that I've been for how they can come together and streamline and successfully collaborate ongoing. So it's like a massive way to just connect all of us with all of those major blueprints, to support each other and to know. So if we know anybody who's interested in what they're doing, or we know somebody who has a similar that's able to help take them to another level, we can connect them all together.
Yeah. And, you know, since meeting you, darling, and I had a conversation with Julie from Sock Radio, and we'd planned to talk to each other last week or something, and it was just like, let's, like 2 weeks ago or something. I just said, look, I support what you do. Do you want to support what I do? She goes, yeah, absolutely. And then we came up with this idea of having this kind of, sharing, caring relationship where we can do stuff for each other. And it was this real New Earth, New You Now kind of energy, bang, just happened, like on the phone call, like bang. And we were just like, the energy, serious, the energy that came through. And so then I'm going, you got to speak to Kelly. You got to speak to Destiny. And I'm hooking Julie up with everyone. And then all of a sudden we have this visionscoalition.com new website, like it's just created with, 10 different energies coming into it from,
Well,
okay.
I hope that she can share some more of that. Like I've spoken to her a few times, but I'd love her to be able to share more about that collaboration that we have on the summit. Either whoever is sharing, because I know the end of the 3rd day, I haven't decided who yet it's going to be, but somebody that's one of the hosts at the time will be sharing this massive list of all of these projects to go get involved with particular projects that we have had submitted to us to share. So that anybody can actually tune in, and it almost be like an audio video mini registry of New Earth projects and collaborations.
So exciting. Destiny, I think the one frustrating thing that I've had in this whole process since I've known you, which isn't a very long time, is it? Like under a month, like hello. The one thing that I have had as a humongous frustration is my inability to share who you are and what you're doing with as many people as I possibly can in like one-on-one conversations, and say, because of the busy schedule I've had with getting season 2 in production and Lightworker Advocate magazine off the ground for our next edition. So I just haven't had the time. But that's frustration.
I have an easier way to overcome that that's not finished. I have been like a mini documentary of snippets of my projects and also snippets of all the stuff that's been happening of my travels for 2 years. So it's like a mini documentary of the spiritual nomad, which is what Spirit's telling me is the book that I have to do before any other of my books that I'm writing is finished. I'm not allowed to write anything else or publish anything else until I get this book together. And it's called, I thought it was weird too, The Spiritual Nomad's Guide to Life. So it's about all of the different things that I've learned from the last 2 years of everywhere Spirit's been taking me. And then the really key core lessons of why I was taken to these extremes that I can share with people who can't necessarily go do the things that I did. Because, you know, it's kind of a big thing for people to go traveling around the world how I have and been able to like put all the little pieces together how I have. And I know that very few people actually have either the skills and endurance and or the, I guess, flexibility to go do that. And it really does give you some monumental like lessons and tools to be able to share in life. And it's something that I feel very excited to be able to share with people, because it's, you know, almost like a crash course in like up-leveling aspects of your life based on some key principle. Based on a person who's been put to the extreme. So the extremes of not having somewhere to stay while traveling, the extremes of not having somewhere to sleep while traveling, and then being able to create something on minimal resources because all my effort's been going into that. And then all of the wonderful experiences that had occurred that have just magically manifested out of me having no idea, me just surrendering and trusting to Spirit. And there are people who are totally like, kudos. And there are other people that are like, oh my God, you're crazy. And I'm like, that's cool. I don't mind being called crazy. I know in my heart all of the really amazing things that have happened and the lessons, the really, you know, up-leveled lessons that have taken my life simply to a higher level of peace and happiness, regardless of what my circumstances are. Because I've been in so many environments that it keeps changing, that I've kind of, part of it is surrendering the attachment to the outside or to a personality, which we discussed in our last chat, to do with like the aspect of the ego. And I think those things are key in the way of being collaborate on such a high level with massive groups of people, where when you can surrender the necessity to certain things in your surrounding, and when you can surrender to the necessity of attachments to aspects of self, or what you perceive as aspects of self, it's like you're ready to connect to whatever resonates vibration as you. But it doesn't need to be like it has to be this way or it has to be that way. It can be very flowy. And I feel it was very integral for my journey for me to be doing all of these collaborations that I'm now doing, and feel totally like at home if I need to change something like this, or I need to work in with somebody else's schedule.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just wondering that I'm going to speak to that in 1 second, because we've just had a comment from Terence Lafferty. Hi, Terence. Thank you so much.
Hey, Terence.
Oh, you know Terence?
I know Terence.
Awesome. Lack of preconceived ideas opens up amazing things in your life. Yeah, it certainly does. Can I share with you, when I had this family emergency, I was that took me out of being able to do the live stream a half an hour into our live stream kind of thing. I was really willing to turn up for it though. So willing to be the spiritual nomad. I was willing to live stream from my phone, the whole thing, because I actually was away from the house, and what that spurred me on was the live streaming into Facebook with these. This is a bit technical now, but I do want to explain this. As far as I know, from my experience, I was on my phone and I was able to log into Zoom, but I couldn't log into the part of Zoom that allows for the live streaming into Facebook. And so I learned to listen, you know, that I was willing to be the spiritual nomad. I was willing to live stream from my car. I was going to do our episode. I was so willing. I was like, okay, that's cool. I'll just go with the flow. I'll live stream from here. Instead, I sent through a one-way live stream message into Facebook to say I'm running late. But I feel like all our experiences, including that one that happened for me this morning, it's about saying, you know, we are preparing you. So Spirit's preparing me for that knowledge. I will need to know these things. And so who better for me to have that happen with than a beautiful spiritual nomad who's extremely accommodating with her time because she knows what it's like. And I feel like I've been really supported today by you and by that level of energy and that vibration of, let's say, the nomadship that allows for us to be open to that flow of where we're guided and how we're guided and what we can do, where we can do it and how we can do it. And I feel like it's really important as we evolve, because into this, well, we know it, don't we? I mean, all businesses are really starting to become just all you need is your laptop or your phone and away you go. Anywhere. As long as you've got that internet connection, you can pretty much do whatever you need to do.
I don't even have a phone at the moment because Hawaii wanted me to use coconut wireless. That's what I call it. Like manifestation and synchronicities is like higher in Hawaii, especially the island that I'm on in Kauai, because it's apparently the portal where souls come onto Earth and leave Earth. And there's all this energy around it, being one of like the main hubs left over from Lemuria, that as soon as I got to Hawaii, it was just preparing me to be able to be on my tablet, which is all I have, and to be able to then disconnect and not have any connection. So when I went 4 days without any connection to anything, I ended up learning how to like manifest like that, where someone showed up and they took coconuts off the tree, and I had coconut from a coconut, and they cooked the ripe coconuts on the fire and made a fire for me. And then I had like almonds straight from the ground, like organic almonds straight from nature. And I was just like, wow, I like my money like had like disappeared. Like I didn't even lose it. Like it was, and put it in my purse. I think the fairies took it really, because I was supposed to learn how to like thrive in Hawaii. And then when I was hitchhiking to Secret Island or Secret Beach, where I stayed several days, and I met the guy who got the coconuts for me, the guy who picked me up, I said to him, you know, lost money just before I got on the plane to come to Kauai for my birthday, and I was still releasing my attachment to the need to have money for security, because I've done that before, and this was like taking me to that whole nother level of experiential understanding that it's great, you can have it, but you can also still eat and survive in a really wonderful way if you have nothing. And it like shed that last leftover residual energy of vibrational freak out if I didn't have any money. And and I was just totally surrendered. And the guy that picked me up to take me to Secret Beach from the place that I stayed at the night before, he turned around and said, you don't need money in Kauai. Here, have this orange. So in like 2 days of not being like near any shops or anything to get any food and my backpack, I had someone give me an orange, and then someone come and give me coconuts and crack them open. They climbed up a tree to get the coconuts for me and took them down, and I helped them carry. Then water from a fresh spring. So I had my water bottle filled with fresh spring water straight from nature, and then got to like walk around like this beautiful area and go for a swim and meditate on the beach and wake up with the sunrise and talk to my star family at nighttime, which I did every night. And then the place that I'm currently, I didn't know where I was going to stay. I just set the intention in that meditation that I was leaving Secrets Beach. I was going to have a place with a shower that night. I was going to have a place to sleep, and I was going to have somewhere with power and internet. So I ended up going to a Safeway, and then was guided to talk to this guy having a conversation with someone at Starbucks, because I stayed at the Starbucks and I had a little bit of money and bought something. And then the people at Starbucks gave me a bag full of free food at the Starbucks. And then I left and spoke to this guy who's having a conversation with someone else that I overheard, and his name is the Starman. And then the Starman was outside Starbucks after taking me somewhere else to buy me some food. He took me to the shops and bought me food. He goes, get whatever you want, bought me some food. And then someone walks out of the Safeway, which, mind you, I'd slept at another Safeway on another place because I was getting Wi-Fi and power to charge my tablet to do some work. And the Safeway thing keeps popping up for me all the time. It's like this sign from Spirit. This is a safe place. This is your safe way to where you're meant to be going. And it's been like this sign. And that's how I've given directions in divine decrees for me to receive my message and guidance while being a spiritual nomad. I say, give me chunks of information in words or visions and give me words on a sign. That's the way that I always receive my messages. So I know, that's a sign. I know it's for me because I've given this guidance and these tools for my guides and angels to communicate with me. And I reiterate it in my divine decrees when I change my manifestations and I write out my manifestations for the month. So as I grow and evolve, I like give them these key ways of communication from this that I know, even if I'm in a fluster and a freak out, I know what my sign is to keep me focused. So this person walks out of the Safeway and the Starman goes, hey, do you reckon that Destiny could stay? And then at first it was a little bit, we'll see, because there's a big group of people that we live with. And then on the walk back, he was like, what do you do? And I was talking to him about this summit that I'm working on and all these communities that I'm connecting together and this documentary I'm doing. And he was like, oh my God. And then we stayed up till 4 a.m. in the morning talking about his project at his community and his farm and how I can connect him to different groups of people to both support here and to help grow what he's got here in other places. And then I was just like, wow. And then like I set up their internet because they needed to have something set up. So in 2 minutes, I set up their internet and I had my internet going and I had my tablet charging and I was like, and I shared around some of the free food that I got given and I was given a place to sleep that was warm and everything. And now I feel like I don't even want to leave. It's like so lovely here. And I'm like really feeling connected to, I'm actually planning to come back here again and to create some fundraising events here and work with the person who owns this place, because I just feel like there's this flow of energy to be able to help grow that. And when I come back to Australia, I plan to start from scratch my own sustainable community. So I feel like Spirit's guiding me and taking me to all of these other communities at different levels, villages or other places. And that's some of the way I connected to some of the speakers on the summit who were doing all of these really great things. And then recently connected with New Earth Nation as a sponsor. So going to be doing some more work with New Earth Nation and bringing the summit and the foundation in Earth Nation and just getting more of these little things that are happening together and like making it like just totally explode everywhere. So as I have these experiences, it only just reiterates more to me from the message that I got from Spirit when I was guided to create the summit, which was 2022, half of the earth will be in utopian civilizations. And that the other half can come whenever they're ready. And that I feel like it'll be like the 100th monkey where you know, the 100th monkey, then it just tips the scales. And then in no time, like maybe in a couple of years instead of 5 years, like majority of the rest of the half of the world will be in a utopian civilization. And I've had dreams about this, like almost prophetic dreams about this since I was a little girl. And the thing about being in Hawaii, I've remembered when I got to Kauai that nearly every night that I went to sleep before I was the 6, and I know the age because this was when my mum and dad were still together and my mum left my dad when I was 4. And I remember the house. So it was either between the age of 3 and 6, I would every night when I went to bed, before I fell asleep, I would see a blue sky and palm trees. I remembered it when I got here that for several years without a fail and I just thought it was normal as a child. I thought maybe everybody saw pictures before they fell asleep at night. And I had a lot of these types of abilities that starseeds have in my youth, but if your parents are not, you know, aware of that, or they don't hear you talking about that to others, that they go, that's quite a peculiar thing. But I had a few friends say to me, oh, I don't have that experience. And I was just like, oh, maybe just some people have these experiences. And like, I'm getting flashbacks to these things from my childhood as I'm releasing. And like being here as well, that the first day and for me, my spiritual nomad's translation of being sunburned is the fact that I've been getting a lot of DNA upgrades and activations. I'm reading a book that gives permission for the Nephilim to come down. It's called Downloads from the Nine. That gives permission from the Nephilim on the higher dimensions to actually work on your higher dimensional levels to bring almost more sunlight to your genetic structure and awaken the different DNA cells. So I've been consistently, especially in my heart and behind my heart, getting these vibrational, like it's almost like I'm being massaged with a vibrating massager machine every day at the same time for like 2 hours. I get this feeling, and it's actually quite a nice feeling. And then when I got sunburned, I feel like it was a symbolism of my union with the sun and the vibrations of the light. And when I got burnt and I started peeling, even my hands have never peeled before. It's like every aspect of my physical body is shedding, and it's actually been quite a nice experience. It's like I'm actually physically peeling away what I'm peeling away spiritually, emotionally, and mentally on this journey to come to this whole other, like a balanced, harmonious frequency. And although I went through like an aspect of, it's not really the darkness, I went through this core aspect of like shedding all of these unresolved beliefs and attachments that came to the surface on my birthday, because I was based on my choice, but I was pretty much like I was offline, no contact with anybody I knew. I was sunburnt because I got sunburnt the day before, and I was like in my sleeping bag where I was camping. And then I got up and saw 2 beautiful rainbows, and that was like my sign. And I immediately went, what am I like moping around for? Who cares if I'm by myself on my birthday? I'm where I wanted to be, where I've wanted to be since I was a little girl, at my favorite place, at the beach, with 2 rainbows in the sky. So I'm just going to enjoy myself and cover up a little bit so I don't get burnt. And then I thought to myself, geez, these like attachments that I had to, you know, the expectation of what life is meant to be really like set us up for feeling quite miserable. And I thought to myself, well, hey, why do I need to celebrate my birth on earth on one day? And why do I need to do it with other people? Shouldn't I be celebrating every single moment, every single day? And that I'm here. Like, I'm so grateful that I'm here on earth. Like, I feel like I personally, galactically, I feel like I was requested to be on earth right now, and feel blessed because I have a lot of souls who haven't been granted access to be on earth right now. So this whole concept just changed and transformed in my mind, where, you know, I was still attached to this childhood / you know, physical personality attachment to what a birthday is supposed to mean, and that's supposed to make me feel as a person because of what's happening on this one day.
Yeah, it's interesting because maybe I plugged into that because I remember you put a post that you wanted for, you tagged me in it for a few
meditation.
And I thought, I do that all the time. Like, I'm always doing that. Like, in every moment, in every decision, I'm always sending out that love and light and feeding. Well, I'm trying, you know, within the scope of my humanity. I'm not perfect, but that's my intention every second. So I must have plugged into that because I remember saying something in response to saying, oh, you know, something along those lines, like I attempt to do that all the time or whatever. Because when people ask me, I have a thing about this actually. When people ask me to pray for something, 2 things come up to me. Firstly, if I'm praying for it, what I'm actually saying is it's not meant to be right now, which I don't agree with. I think everything is meant to be right now, so I don't like to pray for anything. I know it sounds a bit weird because people spend a lot of time praying for things. And the
I
second
like to
thing
use the setting intentions rather than the praying.
Yeah.
Set intentions and be grateful.
Yeah, I love that. And then the second thing that comes up for me when I'm asked to pray for something is the assumption that I'm not already doing it in my everyday decision-making process. And so, you know, those are 2 things that kind of rub me the wrong way about prayer. And I'm not saying any prayer is ever wasted because Spirit listens to what we're saying and actually hears what our heart is really saying. But but I think we can rework it. Just like you said, like, why can't every day be a celebration? What does it mean? You know, what does a birthday have to mean in order for it to be special that we're celebrating it with other people? Why can't we just feel really excited to be here and alive and a part of this particular time and space that we are in?
Yeah, and also
incredible.
like parties, like usually it's like, I feel like in our society this can shift, where it's like, because we have so few time, because of working a 9 to 5, and because of that structure, we've had to kind of schedule days of celebration and ceremony to these few days a year, which is like Christmas, Easter, Valentine's Day, birthdays, and sometimes anniversaries. And that's very few. And it's kind of like, where are our priorities at? Should our priority not be experiencing a joyful life? And if it is, there should be more time that we spend in celebration, like having a lot of time, even in the day, if you're busy, every single day, where it be even if that's your meditation or going for a walk to the park or the beach or to nature, or we have this shift where it becomes accepted and acknowledged that it is part of our society, that every day we also come together with others and also come together as whole within ourselves and have some form of ceremony and celebration. Whatever that ceremony looks like to you, I'm not going to tell you what the celebration looks like to you. Life is about ceremony and celebration. So if it means having a singing bowl session with yourself, or lighting some candles and writing a manifestation, or just writing in, like doing like a morning meditation journal. Like, I know that that's something that's really profound. That's how the came to me. I said the intention and I asked Spirit, I know I have all of these things you would like me to do and that you love me and want me to have balance. So what is it right now that you're wanting me to do to connect all of the things that you've requested? The people I'm connected to, how can I support them? And I started writing my dream out, and I started writing out notes of all these things that I knew that were priorities to do, and all these different processes that I have. I like ask myself a series of questions and I answer my questions to get myself focused. And these are some of the things that I've learned about having a business and having a non-for-profit and having different projects and writing different books while being a spiritual nomad. Is there is certain rituals and ceremonies and celebrations that if you don't integrate into your being, not just your life, because it will be in your life if it's in your being, integrate this into your being, then it actually gives that freeness of evolving, where if something comes up that's harsh or seemingly harsh, like I felt, for example, part of the experience I had on my birthday, at first it was harsh to me because it was a contrast. But then when I looked at it from a different perspective, it's actually nurturing. When I started to let go of my view of what harsh and being in, I guess you could say, my victim aspect of my ego, I started to see where, wow, actually, this is really supportive. And this is actually something that is a blessing for me to be able to have, that I feel really privileged and honor. But I don't feel like I would have been able to see that had I not regularly ceremony and gratitude is part of my ceremony and my celebration, each day, even each minute, that there's these processes that you can incorporate, that if anything outside of you seems to be challenging or conflicting or harsh, as some of us might feel, we're able to see the other perspective.
Oh, we've lost your sound. Gotcha
there
back.
We go.
Yeah, I agree with you, honey. I'm feeling into this, and I guess the thing that's really jumping out at me right now is that I see that whenever I'm doing an enlightened conversation with someone, it's part of my ceremony, because we're rewriting how we see things and celebrating life from a different point of view rather than from a lower vibrational frequency. So I'm actually feeling into what you're saying, and I'm thinking, wow, that's really interesting that I feel it does tick the boxes for ceremony for me. I turn up for it, I'm prepared for it, I hold space with spirit and invite that information in and set intentions for that. And it is an incredible process to actually be in and experience. I think that's my ceremony at the moment. Apart from, like, I'm ridiculous. You know, if you come up to my house and you see how much I'm always doing the happy dance, oh my God, I don't know who would get sick of me. I'm always doing the happy dance about everything. I mean, even this morning when I was delayed, I was picking all the amazing things out of it that I was learning as I was late, you know, and you know that sort of attitude is part of celebration,
it's embodying,
isn't it?
Yeah, it's and that's the thing. I feel like even the word embodying it's something that we're learning. Like we were talking about on our last conversation about how those root chakra energies have, like, I'll say they've had a little bit of turbulence because of this time that we've been stuck in, where we haven't been able to transcend and rise above. And now that I feel like that we've been fortunate enough to have some galactic support and spiritual support, where these inflictions on our energy bodies and capacity has been removed, it's like we're like nutting out all of like the wounds, these wounds in our lower chakras, where we're finally able to come into like the love of the heart and the creation, like the joyful parts of the creation flowing through like our sacral chakra and our solar plexus, and getting more sun into our heart, and then being able to express through our voice and sing and then dance, because that's all part of the expression. And another thing that's really important as we're coming into these higher chakras is with the throat, that's about detoxification and purging and cleansing. So while we're so stuck in these lower chakras, it's very challenging for us to be able to cleanse and purge and to rise up to this level of feeling balanced and whole within ourselves. So 100% what you're saying, and that comes through the embodiment. If you can't heal those energies in order to be here on earth, like you were talking about, you can't actually come into your vocal expression and your third eye, which is about that connection, and then the crown chakra, which is opening you up to the infinite. And I feel that's why now is the time when all of our projects that we've been working so tirelessly on alone, we can just click together. We're finally understanding the concept and embodying the concept of what it means in our third eye and our crown chakra to connect and be unified, where we can not only do that, but we can experience even on our own with nobody else around, even just by talking about the concept, the ineffable experience and capacity of unity.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I had a discussion yesterday with somebody about this, where we got to a point in the conversation, and now we'll just telepathically communicate some energetic way, because what we're talking about is just ineffable, like the energetic connectedness of everything, that if you're able to intentionally tune into on your own, you'll know you're not on your own. You could connect to someone across the street and almost feel what's going on across the street. You could connect to a friend or a lover that you're really close to and have this understanding of what's happening. And now we're clearing out all of that lower stuff to be able to expand and have that free-flowing energetic balance. We can come together physically as well.
Exactly. And it's wonderful. I tell you what, it's so freaking wonderful when you get to that telepathic stage, because it's easier to work with people. Because when you've got stuff in the way, like that, you know, maybe the ego shit in the way, or like nitpicking, because people do that when they're at the stage of teamship, they start to nitpick, and it's like a shadow comes out to actually pick holes in. I mean, like, sorry, I'm just going to say it, for fuck's sake, we've got better things to do than pick holes in people who are trying to be spiritual and spirituality in action on this planet. We just have better things to do with our time, guys. You know, we have so much more energy when we actually just focus on our little bit and go, you know what, they're up to wherever they are, but I trust that they're doing the best they can. And I feel that that's the answer to getting on with it. Because you know what? Utopia doesn't mean we're all perfect. Utopia means that we're actually able to live in a compassionate heart space for everybody wherever they are at in themselves. That's what utopia is. And to also honour and respect ourselves in the process, of course, but to also not judge where they are also, because we've all got, no one's going to be mirroring back perfection. Like, we're still human. We're still processing our soul work. So it's about having a kind heart and allowing space for it without enabling it and without overcompensating for it and without judging it. So for me, I think it is really awesome when we get to the point of telepathy, because what we're doing is we're saying, I'm going to let my crap or my unresolved stuff get in the way of our higher vibrational frequency thought processes that are doing the real work that is here on this planet. And we get so much of that done without even typing a message, because we're moving mountains and shifting stuff that we could put shit in the way, but we're moving it out of the way, and it actually makes our relationships more streamlined, and things happen quicker. Like, you know, teams coming together and collaborating, like what's just happened with Soft Radio and you and I and the other people. Bang, just happened. Yep, that just happened. Just things just happen, and it's like, how did that just happen? Well, we didn't get in our own way. That's what happened. We just let it. We said yes to it. We turned up and we said, actually, yes, I want to be part of this.
Yeah, and it's so amazing. Like, I really feel elevated at the work. I feel so elevated right now with all of the stuff that's happening, where people are collaborating and where they're like at that level where we're at, where we're focused on doing the work. And it's not just we have these beautiful ideas, which are good. It's we have these ideas, talk about, and we collaborate, and it becomes innovative. One of the things that stuck with me from a TED talk that I watched, which was almost one of the first TED talks that I ever watched, and it was through a dating site. It was about 6 years ago on a dating site before my reawakening. And someone asked me, who is quite an enlightened person, seeing TED Talks. And I said no, and I looked up the TED Talk, and one of the ones that I saw was actually, because I was very focused on learning about business and growing myself to be able to create my own business. And the one that was about the most innovative businesses and why. And they were talking about all these comparative businesses, and one of the most innovative businesses, the key concept of why they're so innovative, which is also why they're one of the most successful, is because their team meetings involve having a family dynamic where everybody at any level is expected to participate in discussion and sharing ideas, and every single idea is seen as an opportunity to connect, to create innovation. And that, it doesn't matter if they're the janitor, every single person is expected if they have an idea and then they're wanting to participate. And I think that from that point on, every idea that I got and every single collaboration I made, I wanted that to be the core embodiment. So I wanted to work with people who were at that level, that embodying 100% complete involvement. It doesn't matter how silly the idea is. It's considered and it's compiled into all of the ideas. Part of it. It becomes an innovative part, because we all have little pieces. And when we come together, those pieces just explode and they become what we really are. It's almost like life imitating art and art imitating life, where we have these little ideas, which are actually pictures in this holographic reality. Pictures that are in our box, and our head's like a TV box, where we have these pictures that go around in our mind, all these words and audio that go around in like our own multimedia station in our physical heads. And then when we connect these with other people's and it comes together, it creates like this mass stream. And also the more of us that come together, like what you're doing with Enlightened Conversations, the more of us that come together, we talk about this, we discuss it, we open ourselves up, we're physically manifesting these things that we're wanting to happen and attaching them to the holographic reality by embodying them.
Absolutely. Now, I know we're out of time, sweetheart, but I just wanted to say that we had a couple of comments come through, and thank you guys for contributing. Raul, who's one of our hosts, has said allowing the connection is so important, and totally agreed to allowing that connection. And also he said the beauty of manifesting with the energy of Gaia. You know, when you were talking about your birthday, it came through when you were talking about having you know, that time. He said, beauty of manifesting with the energy of Gaia. So needed to hear that. Thank you. And also, Jaga Loving has said, as you started speaking of telepathy and energetic connectiveness, the birds started chirping. How cool is that? I love it. I love it. I've really enjoyed our time together. I'm sure we could talk forever because it's like easy as pie. The time goes so quickly.
Yeah.
But loved having you on the live stream. I'm sure there'll be many more to come, and I'm looking forward to the summit this weekend. And just let everybody know just one last time where they can access the summit so that they can turn up for it, sweetheart.
Perfect. So the best place to go is either on Facebook. It's capital N NENYN 3-day summit is the event on Facebook. Or you can go to now.org or NENYN.org and the details to register. So
sorry, just cut out.
newnow.org or go to the event on Facebook that is NENYN online summit. And it will have the link to register.
Awesome, gorgeous. Well, thank you again, beautiful. I'm looking forward to joining you, and I feel the energy around the summit is incredible. And I know for me, next week's going to be just such much, I guess, an easier week energetically for me. I won't be sort of holding so much, so I can sort of free up my time to go, okay, let's see what space Spirit's creating for some boom action to what's being moved into our energy here. So I'm excited, sweetheart, to be in the fold and to be a part of it, because I know there's tons more exciting stuff to come.
Very much so. It's just the beginning. Heaven on earth in our time.
Yes. All right, beautiful peoples. Love you lots, and we will check you on the live stream the next time we're on the live stream, which I will give you some notice about. We've just got some calendar. Actually, I just mentioned this morning. Spirit said to me, I want you to get your Google Calendar like fixed up so that it's all done for putting on your website. Anyway, they said you're going to be able to do it, and they were right. I actually have now got a Google Calendar of all our Enlightened conversations. I mean, all of them this morning. Managed to do all of them.
I got the same download for the summits that I have to.
Oh my God!
Order on the website. Yes.
Oh, well, I know how to do it. See, this is collaboration in action, guys. So if you don't know how to do it, I can tell you how to do it. Yeah. It's really easy squeezy. Oh my God! If I knew it was this easy, I would have done it like months ago. So I will certainly pass on that information on, and if you guys want to check out what Enlightened Conversations are coming up, like in the next month, we've got daily episodes. It's enlightenedconversations.com.au, and there is a freaking kick-ass calendar on there that you can check out, and in your time zone even. So lots of love to you all, and we shall see you on the live stream.
Peace, love, and light, guys.
Okay, bye.
Peace,
check out the calendar.